that I don't think it was a problem for them. It's just caught by surprise. So in terms of learning their mistakes, they have the mechanical skills and the macro aspect to do it, but it's just something new. That's all. It's just something new. Oh, if you realize it, now what are you going to do about it? Are you going to adapt, or are you going to, you know, be afraid of that? And the moment if you start kicking in, leaning on the fear, you are going to lose out. And hopefully that does not translate into this game, because now we're jumping into the drafts finally for the lower bracket finals. And this is going to be GPX going up against GameLab for the final slot in the grand finals.
Alright, so talk about the potential pick and ban between these two teams. I know we did talk about like, okay, Fedrin being really good, especially in the previous game, but that's of course because of Euphoria. Now Euphoria won without a Fedrin anyway, so no Fedrin, no problem. But between these two teams, Fedrin is not really their key. I would say their key would be like a Valentina or like a Farsa, Lancelot definitely, or a Tanksalot. So that's going to be one of the picks that's going to be interesting, including one of the top picks right now, which is Glue.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you want to go for a Glue composition, Faramis either has to be banned or going to be picked in your favor. You pretty much don't really want to pick a Glue in towards Faramis just because of how you can immediately get one shot. And interesting enough, just last week, during one of the matches for MPL MY, can't remember which team was it, they actually drafted a Glue into his Faramis. Level 4, the moment the Faramis came in, get a Ghostbuster in with the split, boom, 80% health gone, without even doing anything. It was just so unfortunate, and the funniest part is that the Ghostbuster is about 3 to 4 seconds cooldown in level 1, but once you get like Enchanted Split, yada yada, it's about 2 to 3 seconds, and it's spammable. So there's no way your Glue is going to survive at all.
Yep, I guess that's why Glue is going to be banned out anyway, so we're definitely not going to see a Glue. So for GameLab, what are early picks? I mean, Valentina, their top pick, I mean, that's a very safe one.
Yeah, I think Valentina is pretty safe, but for safety net-wise, going for the Fredrin here isn't too bad coming from GameLab, considering that you can work around Faramis, right? Like, Faramis is great against AoE controls, and I don't think GPX is the type of team where they kind of like to play around a tanky and long late-game competitions. Like, GPX, they've been known for high mechanical heroes, they like to cut the backlines, and Lancelot might be the priority for them. But Martis, I'm surprised enough, completely ignored against a Fredrin matchup. Fredrin ignored by GPX in the previous game as well. So I think GameLab might be... Oh, sorry. Actually, it's GPX that takes the Valentina. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, Faramis is going to be from GameLab. And they take the Lancelot once again. Okay. 3 games in a row now. They're forcing Takenaga to actually play it.
Okay, so now GPX, since they have the Valentina, I think it's also like a respect pick to try to deny it from GameLab because that's one of their top picks. But now with Valentina in the lineup, this is very likely to be a mid-Valentina. I don't know if it goes anywhere else, but because of that, we're definitely not going to see the Farsa. Since Lancelot is taken as well, I think we might see a... It's worthwhile for us to see a Grok at this point. Or do you have some...
I think going for the Melissa right here, right now, just for the counter auto isn't too bad. Like, yeah, I called about the Grok. The Grok's pretty good. But no, actually, yeah, now that we mentioned it, Claude is pretty good. I like that GPX, they definitely done their homework, considering how GameLab versus Euphoria. Both teams, even though they have Faramis to a certain degree, Claude was one of those heroes that was completely ignored. And I like GPX is finally bringing it out as an anticipation. While GameLab, they are gonna take the carry in their favor, means that even if GPX decides to go for the Fredrin, they still have somewhat of an answer. And funny enough, Fredrin against a Faramis as well as a carry, it's kind of like both counter each other. Obviously, carry is gonna be able to kill the Fredrin, but against a Faramis, it's a two-way breakdown. If you try to run away, Faramis is gonna pull you back. But if Faramis gets all clumped up and get a 4-man taunt by Fredrin, as well as a Praise of Wrath, is also good. So it's like a two-way thing. So I guess GPX, they don't really need to worry about it. GameLab, they don't really worry about Fredrin, but they definitely need to worry about the Martis. Martis definitely is something that can deal with the count altar because of the CC immune. Let them pick the Fredrin, ban something else, and in this case, banning off an XP laner that can win their matchup is more important than banning off the Fredrin right now.
So what we learned from having a carry in your team is that, yes, it's great, carry can scale towards the late game, but there's always a risk at the early game. So GameLab need to be prepared for the early game. Probably having like what we saw earlier on, the good example was having a Fanny, just to be just to be sure of what's going to happen in the early game, and then allow carry to scale later on for their side. But in this case for GameLab,
yeah, this is smart.
But it, yeah,
this is very smart coming from GameLab. Like, these are two heroes that can actually counter the counter strategy in terms of jungler, right? Fredrin, even if it doesn't really hard counter, it's okay. They're okay with doing a Fredrin composition. But Martis disrupts the counter, it disrupts the carry to a certain degree, disrupts the land slot. You know, Archive Heavy Spin completely destroys that as well. So I like that they're going for this. But that being said, seeing that Digi is being banned, Atlas isn't too bad right now based on this composition. And for especially with a count outer, going for the Atlas isn't too bad. GameLab, they play it safe, they go for the Claude. And because they go for the Lolita to deal with the Claude, it's very nice. Whereas GPX, they are gonna try and go for potentially the Atlas. Like, this might be an XP Grok coming from GPX. I think the Atlas isn't too bad if they are banning the Digi for this. Like, if they group up as 4, one Fatal Link, boom, everyone is gonna die. But because of this Lolita now, Claude is in a situation where he needs to play a little bit safer, because most of his damage is gonna be blocked by this shield. And they have to decide now, do they want to stick with the Atlas? Or do they stick with, you know what, we go for a roaming Grok and then we pick another XP laner, such as an Esmeralda, which can benefit against the shields, not necessarily against a carry, but they can go for the Yuzhong as well. And okay, they go for the Yuzhong as well as the Hayabusa. I like it. I really like this.
Yeah, GPX really putting out a very different lineup this time around. I think they're really trying to like throw GameLab off of whatever their research against them. So right now, GameLab with the final pick. Yes, they have Lolita. They have played Lolita twice. Obviously, they won both Lolita games, so they definitely know how to do that.
I can see where GPX is coming from in this Hayabusa. Like, Hayabusa is not often played. It's an A-tier jungler, but in the right hands, it can be mechanically strong. And so far, the only other player in the world that I've seen that Hayabusa is able to win this composition is none other than Kyrie, the man himself. And so far, he has been making waves in MPL Indonesia, especially when he came down from Philippines. So I'm extremely excited to see how this works out. GPS definitely very inspired by this. And I want to see whether or not Ray can actually live up to the expectation to kill the backline, especially against the carry. But the final pick here from GameLabs is going to be the Benedetta XP lane.
What I like between these two picks is that the Grok pick. I think the Grok pick, being a very good initiator, would be the one to take the fight towards GameLab, and he will open up a fight. So with that being said, since they do have a Grok, which is a very good initiator, we might be seeing that they will go in strong onto GameLab, especially not allowing carry to scale, because we've seen how scary carry can be if it's allowed to scale, if it's allowed the space to play towards the late game.
Yep.
So,
this is, without further ado, one of the match that we are extremely excited to see as well. Philippines versus Indonesia. Lower bracket finals. GPX going up against GameLab. A fight for the nation. Who is going to be the best? And now on the blue side, we have GPX. And on the red side, we have GameLab.
And both teams starting, as usual, they're going to get their purple bars on their own. Of course, purple bars for these two heroes are important, but we have a little bit of a jungle invasion there. Okay, Aizawa almost getting the steal away, but no, that didn't happen at the end.
Yep, this is something I'm extremely excited to see how things are going to work out. But for now, GameLab, they are playing a little bit more aggressive now. They're having Fredo QT looking to try and get a couple of kills in to isolate the fight. But Darkman definitely on the Lolita is going to be able to do a little bit more now.
Yeah, and I guess the idea for them to play a little bit more aggressive is that they want to open up as much space for Yukizi, because if not, GPX would have the idea of, oh, okay, that just happened.
You know,
All
Ziri
right.
getting a very, very nice first blood on towards Havaz, and that is huge considering how Havaz doesn't have the tankiness in the early stage of the game. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of the Shadow Stampede, right? Aizawa is going to be able to isolate the fight. Even the Valentina would not be able to escape the claw. So this is something that GameLab can use to capitalize on.
Okay, so that's going to be first blood anyway for GPX, so a good start for them. But they need to try to stop carry. Like, yes, they can stop everyone else, but if Yukizi is given the leeway to farm, to scale, then lane is going to be hard for GPX.
This is tough. This is going to be very, very tough indeed. But GPX now, they are going to try and set up for a fight down bottom. Meanwhile, GameLab, they have to dodge this fight. Like, it's just not worth going for the contest here. But Dockman already in position for the counterplay. He's got a Numenon Blast Flicker as well. GPX needs to be worried as well. Here comes the setup. It is going to connect, but no, completely with the mark. The damage is there. Takenaga, he steals the turtle. Counter being expended from GPX, and they will be able to disengage. But GameLab's not going to be able to do too much as well. It's going to be trading objectives for both sides.
Okay, so a little bit of a trade there, but no one went down, so it's still 1-0 towards GPX. But because of that objective, then GameLab gets the money advantage. But again, same issue as before. Look at where Yukizi is at. He's given a free reign at the bottom lane.
Yeah, he is going to be giving a little bit as well. And so far, when it comes to Watt and as well as Yukizi, right? Both sides, they have to play a little bit safe. But what's interesting is that GameLab, they're having Aizawa and Yukizi going for Purifies, expecting the chain stuns coming from Ziri. So this is going to be a problem for Ziri to kind of figure out, right? Because eventually, this Petrify stun combo coming from Yuzhong is great. But if you don't land those combos, a majority of your damage gets completely negated because of that.
Yeah. Overall, I kind of expected that GPX to play a little bit faster. Yes, they got the first blood, but that was like more of a 1v1 situation, rather than they all go to one lane, winning the lane, move to another lane, and so on and so forth. So if this continues, again, it's going to be the debate of whether they can handle the carry or not.
Yeah, I agree. This is something that they have to actually figure out as well. GameLab's currently in a position, they have to call for the pause to actually figure out what's going on. Because eventually, they are playing very, I would say, passively right now. I feel like GameLab is in a situation where they're not dictating the tempo in their favor. And it's understandable considering that Dockman is forced to play a very defensive character now compared to his known Kufra with his flashy plays thus far.
True. Yeah, if you play Kufra, you can jump, you can try to get the backline and stuff like that, but this time around it's going to be a little bit different for him. So they are trying to adapt to his kind of pacing. And maybe, at least for GameLab, right, they can play the long game. Again, to me, the key would be carry. We've seen how Shizugon does it before with his teammates. They can play the long game because they know they got the late gamer, but here, if they play the long game, that's great, but it's going to be hard for GPX towards the late game. Okay, if we talk about GPX late game possibility of winning this, what's your thought?
Okay, so this is where things get a little bit different, right? GameLab, you're trying out what Euphoria is doing with the carry is to deal with the tanks, right? But GPX, they have a composition that is not tanky, but they can actually threaten the carry because of the Hayabusa and the back lines here. So this is going to be a difference in approach in terms of mobility, but that's the thing, right? They can still kill off the carry very, very easily. But speaking of killing him off, what? Now with the Blazing Duet, gonna get dived on as well. The rest of GameLab is coming in.
Oh,
they are gonna go for the set up. They pull them back, and no, what?
Oh, what?
That's the last tick. He dodges it, and he might actually fall. But Aizawa looking to get cheeky with the Ghostbuster, but he will be able to escape this while GameLab completely whiffing that kill.
Flicker well used there to just go back. And the fact that he went back to his own turret is like kind of like a risky play, but he trusts his teammates to back him up there. Fredo QT was on point to help him. The turret was there as well, and plus they are somewhat like level 5, level 6, so they wouldn't want to turret dive that easily.
Yeah, I agree. It is very, very difficult. It was a very slight detail, but Juan was able to backtrack that for a little bit. However, GameLab now in a position to try and contest the turtle down towards the final half HP bar. GameLab Currently setting up for the Numenon Blast. Dogman setting up as well. Connects it all, but he gets the Code Altar coming in as they go for a re-engage, but they will be secured once again by GPX for the Turtle as they go for the all-out brawl. Ziri going to be zoning the marksman while the rest of GameLab, they have to back off, but they do get the kill on Ray at the last tick. So that's going to be huge as Takenaga looking to extend the fight, but no, he will be able to back out.
I mean, Fredo QT would have been tanky enough anyway, so he would have been able to tank out that final few damage. But so he'll be okay. But again, where is Yuktisi? Yuktisi, a lot of space open up for him, despite him playing close by with the turtle.
Yeah, Ziri now gonna be in a lot of trouble. This is Yu Zhong, he needs to get out. Does not need the Black Dragon, but GameLab will settle with the tower instead, preparing for this next turtle down bottom. So GPX looks like they are gonna try and set up on the top side, hoping to get a kill on the Benedetta, and it is very possible as well. They get the elective final blow, but Havos, he is going to be able to get out unless... No, he's fine. He is... Nope, he actually...
Yes.
No, he actually does survive!
Yes.
He outplays Ray! He gets the kill! And now he's going to run for his life. What now? Going to be wrapped around. Gets pulled back by Aizawa. Takes a little bit more damage, but GameLab looking to kill, but Takenaga! He actually gets the kill. They waited for what? He blinks back, got killed by Aizawa, and GameLab gets 2 for nothing.
Crazy micro plays at the top lane. I mean, it was like, what, living by the edge, pretty much. And GPX almost got that kill onto, how do you pronounce his name again?
Habos.
Habos. Oh, thank you. Yeah, onto Habos. And Habos got away with murder from that.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. A little bit of overextension, but Ray 2 times now died on this Hayabusa. Getting completely outplayed by GameLab thus far. Aizawa in a bit of trouble. Ray, he's going to looking for a redemption. Finally gets the kill. Stolen. Code Altar coming in. Numenon Blast from Dogman! They do get the catch, and that's going to be the perfect execution from GameLab. Yuktisi still driving the back. Havos going for the Petrify. Does he have the damage? But Kribu is going to hold on for the Code Altar as well, and he's going to turn the tides. And that's going to be Havos' first mechanical mistake.
Yeah, a little bit of a greedy play there. I mean, there were 2 turrets in between, so it's hard for him to get out of it anyway. But anyway, open up space for Takenaga to get it.
Yep, Ziri forcing a Black Dragon. Not exactly sure what he's trying to achieve here. He's going to get kited out. GameLab looking for the finish. Yuktisi does have the damage. He's going for the execution. And Ziri is going to die. Petrify comes in. Takenaga will be saved with the Count Altar. And it's going to be able to get out. GPX, however, cannot get a single kill out of that. Stolen Count Altar on Kribu. He's going to get focused now. He might lose to this, and he is going to be fine. Fredo QT looking for the wall charge. Connects onto OK Shadow Kill. Kills him off, and now he is going to get out. Stolen Count Altar will be used by GPX, but they will settle down with 1 kill.
Ooh, wow, okay, so much action. And we're like, what, not even 8 minutes where we got 9 kills already all around the map between the both teams. That's crazy. That's crazy fast.
This is why Indonesia versus Philippines is always the best matchup, man. It's all about fighting. It's all about getting crazy. And in this case, they're literally pouring their hearts and souls for their tournament lives. Kribo getting dived in as well. Takenaga executes him, takes him out, backs the heck out, and sheesh, what a play. Ray not going to be able to do too much, and that's going to be a tier 1 falling. And GameLab continue their macro dominance.
You're right. We can clearly see that it's all about the country pride here between these 2 teams. So they want to try to get as much as possible out of each other. So far, GameLab with those few skirmish wins opening up a lot of space for Yuktisi. In fact, Yuktisi already got his first kill, meaning that the scaling of Yuktisi is there. And looking at the items, Yuktisi is the most stacked up among all so far.
Yeah, it's crazy. But with the Purifies coming in from both Aizawa and Yuktisi, you can see GPX, they are in a position to contest this as well. Takenaga just taunting their way through. They know they just don't have damage because as of yet, what? He is the biggest damage dealer coming from GPX, but every single time he forces a fight, the Numenon Blast is always there. And even if he's not there, the shield is blocking a majority of this Blazing Duet. And he needs to buy time, and you can even see Dogman as well. He's stopping Watt and clearing the minion waves just to set up a little bit for the Lord. And now with the Lord up for grabs, GameLab, they are going to secure it. Code Altar comes in, GPX needs to back out. They have to run for this. And Takenaga not letting them off the hook. The counter Black Dragon comes in, but with the wall coming in, the rest of the team will not be able to follow up with GPX as they pick them apart. Ziri holding for his dear life. Takenaga finally dies, but GameLab will also trade 1 in their favor.
Okay, almost taken down, managed to escape. And now we can see the trade between the two teams. Takenaga down, Ziri down, but at the top lane, it's being shoved out.
This is tough. This is tough with the Lord coming in. Even though, you know, GameLab, they had the right idea to isolate the Dragon, the Yuzhong Ziri, but they don't really have a solution for keeping Takenaga alive, right? Takenaga, you know, who is he gonna zone? There's only so much heroes he can zone. It's either Ray or what, but even then, those are heroes that doesn't necessarily need to dance with you, and it's something that Takenaga is gonna struggle eventually. He is gonna be annoying, but eventually he is gonna struggle in terms of overall damage. But at the same time, this is where things get a little bit interesting.
Okay. Alright, I saw something interesting as well. But anyway, it's going to be interesting as this matchup is going to continue on with the Lord still active, but the Lord, because this is the first time, so it's going to be easy for a GPX to defend this. But on the mid lane, fights happening.
Yep, now with the Count Altar coming in, you can see GameLab, they're gonna extend the fight as they try to go in for a little bit of a snipe down here. They need to back out. Fredo QT trying to stall them back, but he's taking a little bit too much damage. He will die in towards Aizawa with the Ghostbuster, while Ziri looking for the Black Dragon. He's gonna catch 3 men with the Petrify, and the rest of GPX looking to follow up, but the damage for GameLab a little bit too much. Yukizi picks them apart bit by bit, while Takenaga is gonna stall it off. What? Missing his auto attack, needs to back up, and from behind, Ray comes in, almost gets this kill, but GameLab, they sidestep their way through as they look to back off.
Oh, somehow Takenaga still survives, even though Rain went for the backline, but now Kibu is waiting behind. Takenaga super duper low, but it's 2v1. Definitely they're trying to take down Kiribu. And Kiribu, last hit, they're going to give it. They're going to give it to Yukizi.
Oh no, Kiribu.
Yukizi. They want to feed Yukizi.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, Kiribu, he thought he could survive this, but it's not going to happen. And GameLab is going to be able to come up on top. Well done coming in from them. And as of yet, it feels like GPX is just having the back seats here. They just have no solution on what they want to do, especially when they've got so much they have to overcome, especially for Watt.
Okay, they try to win back their area. They try to win back their jungle, but Red Cutie, don't spend too much time out there. He's taking a little bit of a risk, but at the same time, the bottom lane. Okay, so both lanes being shoved out. At the same time, the Lord is going to come up, and they're ready for it.
Yeah, I agree. And seeing how this is actually happening as well. GameLab, once again, going for the next Lord fight. GPX needs to try and force the issue, but the Lord will be up for grabs, and GameLab will be able to get it as well. Malefic roll up on Yukizi. Going on up on Aizawa as well. Ray getting a very important kill on Havas. That's going to limit the numbers to hold on for their dear lives. Aizawa getting isolated, but no follow-up coming from GPX.
Okay, GameLab, they just need to wait for Lord to arrive, and that's where they'll go in. For now, they'll just clear off the entire jungle. GPX, if they want to create space, this is the moment right now. The moment Lord arrives at their doorstep, that's it.
Yep. And of course, this is where things get a little bit interesting as well. With the Lord coming in, it is going to be pushing their way from the top side. GameLab currently in a situation where they can close out the game, and GPX, they have to give their all to defend against this, but they're still playing to save Ray, showing himself. Almost getting stunned out by Darkman, but the Lord already working on the crystal. GameLab, they are going to settle with the tier 3s for now. Darkman just blocking all the bullets from Watt, just doesn't really care, and there's just nothing GPX can do about this.
Right now, GPX pushed to a corner. It's still 5v5. And now GameLab, they'll be looking to close this.
Yeah, it is going to be possible as well. Darkman with the Numana Blast!
Woo!
Gets Krimu at the second! And now Yukizi, he's going to be in trouble. But Ray will be able to disengage. But GameLab, they settle in tier 3. They're looking for more. No Krimu, no problem. Crystal's exposed. They've got the Count Altar. They are going to try and dish out the damage. And now here comes the Blazing Duet. All completely blocked by Darkman. He's dead. Yukizi falls. And now GPX is going to lose more, even more. With what? Last man standing, dead as well. GameLab is gonna be taking game 1 against GPX.
And there you go. When it came to the later stages of the game, Yukizi playing the carry, There was almost no counter for him. So much space created by GameLab. Basically, they're going in for the late game, but you don't really need the late game in this case. By the time it goes mid-game, it's good enough for you easy.
GG, well played to